Hello, my name is Brian Posner, Contract Specialist for the Fairfax County Department of Purchasing and Supply Management. Today, I will be discussing the segment on marketing your firm's goods and services to Fairfax County. The most important thing to realize when marketing goods and services to Fairfax County is establishing where can I find information. There are many sources to find information that are publicly available. First is the contract register. You can use the contract register to help forecast your customers' opportunities and requirements, when customers will have a future need, and base that on the current expiration dates of current contracts they have. A thorough demonstration of this tool will be provided at the end of the presentation. The second tool you should be using is the current solicitation page. You can see what opportunities are currently available to bid on and respond to from a formal purchasing threshold. As Tina mentioned earlier in the presentation, the formal purchasing threshold is everything over $50,000. So while it is understandable that you as a firm may not have the capacity to bid on such a large requirement, you can still utilize this tool and find out who you might be able to partner with. I would recommend saving this website as a favorite and checking it very frequently. The next thing that you should be looking at is departmental websites. On these websites, they will always list organizational charts and provide contact information for decision makers. Contract specialists can also help you acquire this information as well. There is also the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, which can be used to obtain pricing information and other business-related terms from previous contracts that may or may not have expired. We are required by law to keep those contracts for up to a 5-year period. Finally, there is EVA, which I will now discuss on the next slide. With EVA, there are several options that allow you to gain more information about what your customers are looking to purchase. First, you should be sure to check out the State Contracts tab. This will show you all of the state contracts available. Local jurisdictions are usually able to ride these state contracts, and thus that creates avenues for local agencies to purchase from your firm. You should also be sure to check out the Solicitations and Quick Quotes tab. This will show what is currently available on the market for a vendor to respond to. As mentioned earlier, quick quotes fall between the threshold of $10,000 and $50,000. There's also another tab for future procurements. This can help a vendor forecast and prospect what might be coming up on the horizon for a particular agency or jurisdiction. Finally, and most importantly, you should be sure to check out the Reports tab. There are several reports that you as a vendor can use to help you better identify opportunities and better identify where the demand is for your business. The first report that you should be sure to check out is Who is Buying What I Sell? This is typically linked by NIGP commodity codes, and you are able to search for the types of services and/or goods that you offer. You can also do a report based on the summary of purchase orders for each vendor, which businesses are getting orders, as well as several other reports that you can use. On the next slide, I will discuss the most effective marketing tools that you can use and how to market directly and effectively to your customers. The first important thing that you should realize is that you need to know your customer. Each customer has unique and different requirements and potentially needs to procure different things. DPSM will help you identify who the right decision maker is. We are here to help you, and on our website, we have listings of which contract specialists support which agencies. We also recommend that you try to understand the business process and maintain a customer-centric approach when selling. For example, if you are a vendor seeking to market a unique gym membership software, you should already understand what your customer is currently using and be able to demonstrate the added efficiencies and effectiveness that would be created from that agency using your product. There are available research tools to help do that. As I mentioned, I will be doing a demonstration with the contract registry, which is one of those tools. Please be specific about what good and/or service you intend to provide for the county. It's not just enough to say, I offer staffing services. You should want to say, I offer staffing services for health department related jobs, for example. Decision makers have to economize their time, and they do not want to be overwhelmed with information. You also want to be sure to demonstrate avenues by which they can procure from. Look for other jurisdictions and opportunities where you can ride their contracts.
If you are a newer vendor or a small business, there's a chance you may not currently have an established county contract. You may not even be on a county customer's radar. As a result, it should be your firm's prerogative to properly identify its value proposition within an exact niche. This means specifically targeting your customer, whose information you can acquire via the methods previously mentioned on slide 18, titled, How Can I Find Information to Help Market Opportunities? Try to set up a meeting once you identify the right end-user contact person to discuss your firm's competencies and value proposition. County employees, especially department decision makers, are often pressed for time, so please remember that when requesting the meeting. It is imperative during the meeting to not only relay your firm's value proposition, but also to have proactively researched potential contracting vehicles to implement your firm's products or services. The contracts division of the Department of Purchasing and Supply Management may be able to support you in identifying the most appropriate procurement vehicle. Your firm should be proactive in pre-identifying these potential avenues to gain business. For example, if your firm currently has a contract with Arlington County to provide desktop application training and you have signed a COG rider clause, you can leverage that contract award to obtain business with Fairfax County at the terms and conditions established with the other jurisdiction. It essentially acts as a referral for your organization and gives your firm instant credibility to a Fairfax County end user. Another strategy to consider if you are a small business is pre-identifying subcontracting opportunities via awarded contracts or through current public solicitations. Understanding who the larger competitors are and subsequently establishing teaming agreements can be pivotal toward your goal of getting your foot in the door with the county. Any procurement vehicle you try to pursue with the county, with the exception of the small purchase strategy, will need to be reviewed by central purchasing and will require competition. Use the publicly available resources at your disposal to determine the most appropriate contracting vehicle.
And finally, I'm going to discuss and reiterate some of the hot tips that were discussed earlier in the presentation. Be sure to use that contract register to forecast your opportunities. As I mentioned again, after this I will go through a demonstration on how to use that. Remember that end users ultimately develop the requirements. You may call up central purchasing and try to locate those end users, but please recognize that central purchasing does not develop those requirements. They are the end users that do so. Check the current solicitation page frequently. Finally, be sure to get registered with EVA and the Fairfax VIP. Thank you for listening to the presentation. Afterwards, I will provide a discussion and a demonstration on how to utilize the contract register. I'm now going to provide a demonstration on how to utilize the Fairfax County Contract Register. As a vendor, you're able to use this tool to help find out which contracts are expiring and also determine what your current competitors are offering in terms of pricing, delivery, and other business-related terms. Now, if it were up to me, I would provide a search or implement a search that found this type of information. I'm going to provide an example. First, I'm going to put in a generic keyword. Hypothetically, I'm a vendor who is looking to provide janitorial services to the county, and I want to figure out when current county contracts are expiring and thus when I might be able to bid and respond to new opportunities. So I'm going to put a description for janitorial. Also going to sort results by expiration date. What this will do is when it pulls up the search results, it will show me which contracts are coming up soonest for expiration. I'm just going to go pick on one of these contracts here. Once you can see that there are 34 results. These are contracts that include the word janitorial services, or janitorial more specifically. I'm going to click on the View Details button next to Capital Building Services, Inc. Now you can see there is a multitude of contract documents. What you have here is the original request for proposal, any addendum that were issued while that proposal was out on the street, the notice of award, which summarizes and aggregates all of the business-related terms of the contract. This will be the document that we'll want to check out. So as I'm opening this document, you'll be able to recognize once this notice of award comes up, you'll be able to see who the contractor was that was awarded the contract, what the contract number is, where that vendor is located, what their payment terms are, and then the prices that they offer for each facility. Now think of it from a perspective of you're trying to market new janitorial services to the county. If you're able to know what the current vendor's price is, then you recognize if you are able to be competitive based on the way your firm offers its prices. You'll be able to get a ballpark or estimate of if you will be competitive. There's also more information that you'll want to check out here. You can see who the central purchasing point of contact is. In this case, it is George Bright. Gives his phone number and his email address. It also provides a distribution list. Now this is important because it will show you who the end user customer point of contact is. In this case, when the award was established, that person was Carol Young for the Facilities Management Department. Now I mentioned at the time the award was established because if we go back to the summary page where you have all of the documents, you can see that there have been several amendments that were issued to part of this contract. In your review and in your research of the contract register, be sure to check out all of those amendments. Those amendments may include more current pricing or scope or delivery terms, and it will also have the most updated point of contact. As you can see here, this amendment was executed back on November 20th of 2013. It was renewing the contract and extending it for 1 month at existing terms and conditions. As you can see here, the contract specialist is no longer George Bright. It is Chris Cheney. And the Facilities Management Department point of contact is now Kevin Norris. Be sure to check out all these amendments as they do become part of the contract once they are executed. And this concludes the demonstration of how to utilize the contract register. Please don't hesitate to contact your contract specialist if you need more information. Thank you.